Coming up on KTTC News at 10, another death on Minnesota's thin ice as authorities beg people to be cautious this winter. Also, buckle up, something unusual slowing traffic this morning on Minnesota roads. And the second longest serving chancellor of UW La Crosse fired for making porn videos with his wife. The national attention the scandal is getting.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
And good evening, I'm Tom Overly. Caitlin Alexander has the night off. We are learning more about what may have led to the termination of UW La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao. Dashiell Menzel has more details now on his firing.
University of Wisconsin La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao says he was fired from his role after the UW Board of Regents learned he and his wife produced and appeared in pornographic videos. Gao and his wife star in a YouTube channel called Sexy Healthy Cooking, in which the couple cooks meals with adult film actors. In response, former Chancellor Gao said, "My wife and I live in a country where we have a First Amendment. We're dealing with consensual adult sexuality. The regents are overreacting. They're certainly not adhering to their own commitment to free speech or the First Amendment." They also have a page with the same name on X, formerly known as Twitter, in which the description states, "Passionate plant-powered couple cooking, conversing, and shooting with top adult video stars. Visit our loyal fans and OnlyFans sites for fully explicit scenes." Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman and Regent President Karen Walsh issued statements saying the regents had learned of specific conduct by Gao that subjected the university to significant reputational harm. Rothman called Gao's actions abhorrent, while Walsh says we are alarmed and disgusted by his actions. Gao also took heavy criticism in 2018 for inviting adult film actor Nina Hartley, who has appeared on the cooking show as well, to speak at UW La Crosse about free speech and adult films. As a tenured faculty member, Gao has been placed on paid administrative leave, but Rothman says a complaint has been filed asking that his tenured status be reviewed. An outside law firm will also be investigating the matter. UWL Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Betsy Morgan, has been named interim chancellor.
Well, news of the story is gaining a lot of attention nationwide. That has propelled the city of La Crosse into the spotlight. KTTC's Brock Burgee is digging deeper tonight into the media coverage and how La Crosse leaders are reacting to it. Brock.
Tom, if you pull up your favorite web browser, type in Joe Gao, you will get about 12.5 million search results. Of course, given the nature of why there are so many results, you want to be careful what links you click on. Some are going to take you to adult sites. That disclaimer out of the way, the former UW La Crosse Chancellor is generating plenty of buzz for his X-rated online career. Let's take a look at some of the headlines for you. This was the headline from NBC News. Wisconsin University Chancellor fired over ongoing porn career with wife as sexy happy couple. Now, sexy happy couple is the moniker Gao and his wife Carmen use on social media and on adult sites. Taking a look now from the New York Times. This is what they printed in their newspaper today. The subheading here, the University of Wisconsin system's top official said she was disgusted by the chancellor's actions. The chancellor says he was exercising his right to free speech. Now Fox News chiming in. Wisconsin University Chancellor fired for causing school significant reputational harm. And it's this headline here that has the mayor of La Crosse responding tonight. Here in part is what La Crosse Mayor Mitch Reynolds, who is a UWL graduate himself, had to say about the dismissal of Gao. Quote, "Any actions related to the removal should not detract from the extraordinary and ongoing accomplishments of this amazing university and the faculty and staff who continue to prioritize student success above all else," end quote. Gao, who is 63, has repeatedly said he never mentions UW La Crosse or his title of chancellor in any of his videos. Some of those videos, by the way, are reported to now have more than 200,000 views. One final quick note for you here. The UW student newspaper, the Racket Press, is reporting some students have started a petition to rehire Gao. That online petition states, and I'm going to quote here, "Please sign this petition to reinstate our beloved porn star chancellor," end quote. Live in the studio, Brock Burgee, KTTC News.
Work from students. All right, Brock, thank you very much for that. We're going to now head over and get a check on what's happening outdoors and what are conditions like out there at this hour?
Yeah, Tom, well, our weather is looking a little bit cooler than what we have been seeing over the last weekend over Christmas. Well, we were seeing 50-degree temperatures. Well, today I mean, at least I can see my breath right now as I'm talking, and we are seeing those temperatures begin to fall a little bit as our winds shift to the north. But what we're tracking, looking ahead, above average temperatures will continue. We'll be a little bit on the chillier side, around the low 30s, but they are still above average as our average high is around 20 to 25 degrees. But we also do have a few flurries possible, and that's for Saturday. Looking outside right now, our Lucent Auto live camera here in Rochester. 30 degrees, cloudy skies, north winds up to 17 miles per hour. Those 17-mile-per-hour winds are making us feel a little bit cooler with the feels like 18 degrees right now. Temperature and wind chill for the rest of the region in the teens in some places, with the feels like Rochester is one of them. 21 degrees is the feels like in Zumbrota, 34 in Red Wing, and 24 in Winona right now. Wind speeds coming in from the northwest. That's helping us stay a little bit cooler with the feels like anywhere from 4 to 17 miles per hour. Future track radar showing some overcast skies making their way through our region. Those will eventually go away as high pressure will move into our region. Looking at our surface map, that low pressure off to our east near Chicago, that's what's been affecting us the past couple of days with some flurry chances. Well, that's going to move farther northeast and not affect us anymore. Looking at tomorrow's outlook, we'll see those clouds begin to dissipate as we will see more clear skies for our afternoon conditions. Temperatures getting into the mid to upper 30s, maybe even some low 40s in some places. But I'll talk about those quite a couple snow chances for our Saturday in my full forecast in just a little bit. Tom.
All right, Derek, thank you very much. Well, in other news, one person is dead tonight after a large vehicle went through the ice in northern Minnesota. It happened on Lake of the Woods near a resort in the northwest angle. And with thin ice causing problems late into December, as we know, KTTC's Quinn Gorham explains why officials are urging extreme caution this winter.
You know, typically by this time of the year, we've got people driving vehicles on the lake, and we're pulling wheelhouses out shortly after, the January 1.
Beltrami County Sheriff Jason Riggs says this year has been a tough one for ice rescues on Upper Red Lake.
Red Lake is typically one of those lakes that, because it's such a shallow depth, and it does have a good walleye bite, that people are saying, I'm going to go up there and trust that this is going to be okay.
But that trust might be misplaced, especially this year. Just last week, public safety officers rescued 35 people from a chunk of ice that broke off. Needless to say, Riggs believes anyone on the ice ought to proceed with caution.
And I like to fish myself, but I'm not going to put my life or my family's life or my hard-earned money to risk.
Loss of life is clearly the ultimate cost, but both Riggs and the Minnesota DNR say losing equipment can be an expensive price to pay as well.
Some people are still going out with ATVs and other equipment that's just too heavy for the current ice conditions. So for your safety and the safety of first responders, we are urging people to be patient.
And while the week between Christmas and the New Year is typically a popular one for winter recreation, different conditions call for a different approach.
It's very uncommon, just due to the weather that we've been having, that we were going this long. And I think that's why we're seeing more of them, is just because the lake is not locking up quickly.
Reporting in St. Paul, I'm Quinn Gorham.
And today's warnings come after an early morning incident with no injuries. It happened on Red Lake. A common time for parties and gatherings, the night of New Year's Eve brings a lot of people together, but it's important for everyone to return home safely for the night to end well. According to Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, 49 people have died on the roads from alcohol-impaired driving during the end of the year holiday from 2017 to 2021. Towards Zero Deaths coordinator Michelle Ness says that this is an average of 10 people suffering preventable deaths each year on Minnesota roads. She recommends everyone to plan ahead with your return trip home before going to a gathering or to a party.
A sober ride. There's plenty of cab services. If someone is hosting a holiday party, we just ask that they be responsible as well and make sure they line up sober rides for their guests. Take keys if they need to, offer rides or allow them to stay at their place. We're just really hoping that people just help each other out.
And if you or someone you know needs a sober ride after a meetup, you can reach out to Safe Rides through the contact information in the web version of the story, kttc.com. There was a bit of a traffic jam around 11 o'clock this morning in Rochester because a house was traveling down the road. You may have seen this log cabin earlier today on Highway 52, part of it at least. It had a police escort to help get it from Cashton, Wisconsin to Lonsdale, which is northwest of Faribault. The home is the biggest Starlight cabin, has shipped. The log cabin manufacturer assembles the homes at more affordable price. Moving them is not so cheap, however, costing more than $20,000 just to move this house. The cabin will be unloaded with a crane and constructed tomorrow morning again in Lonsdale. Well, the Wisconsin Brewing Company is pushing to get Donald Trump barred from the state's election battle. Meantime, action that Maine's top officials are taking to keep him off the primary ballot as well.
And in weather, we're tracking a chance for some flurries possible for your Saturday afternoon. More of that after the break.
Welcome back. Maine's top election official has removed former President Donald Trump from the state's 2024 primary ballot. That decision is based on the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban, and it makes Maine the second state now to disqualify Trump from office. Earlier this month, Colorado Supreme Court handed down its own ruling, removing him from its ballot. Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows, a Democrat, issued her decision today. It came after she presided over an administrative hearing about Trump's eligibility for office earlier this month. A bipartisan group of former state lawmakers filed the challenge against Trump's inclusion on the ballot. Today's decision can be appealed in state court, but it's all but assured that Trump's side will challenge it. Most legal experts believe the U.S. Supreme Court will settle the issue for the entire nation.
This ruling was a very strong ruling, and so we hope that this will be upheld and that his name will not be placed on the Maine ballot. If it goes up the line and gets to the Supreme Court, hopefully they will rule very quickly.
And over to our neighboring state, the Wisconsin Brewing Company wants to see former President Donald Trump barred from its state's ballot. Minocqua Brewing Company owner Kirk Banstead filed a complaint with the Wisconsin Elections Commission to attempt to keep Trump off the ballot in Wisconsin. Right after the filing, the commission announced it tossed out the complaint. That was due to a connection with one of the commissioners. Robert Spindell was one of 10 Republicans who signed certificates in 2020, falsely stating that Trump had won Wisconsin. Therefore, the commission tells our sister station in Madison that it has recused itself. As of tonight, the Wisconsin Elections Commission has dismissed the filing.
Live from KTTC, this is a First Alert weather update.
Hey everyone, I'm weather forecaster Derek Overland. We had another warmer than average day for our December, as our average high is 25 degrees. Well, we had a high here in Rochester of 32 degrees here, seen on your screen. We had 36 was our high in Red Wing, 37 in La Crosse, and everybody else were in the mid to low 30s for today with their high temperature. Looking outside right now, our Lucinato live camera here in Rochester. We're at 30 degrees with cloudy, overcast skies. North winds at 17 miles per hour. With those higher winds from the north, our feels like is feeling down at 18 degrees right now. Temperatures and wind chill for the rest of the region. While our air temperature, what's in white there, is in the low 30s, where our wind chill, which is in the blue, is anywhere from the teens to the low to mid 20s right now, depending on where you are. So we are seeing a difference with our wind chill because of these northerly winds, anywhere from 4 to 16 miles per hour right now, even 17 miles per hour in Rochester. So some strong to moderate winds coming over the area right now with some cooler Canadian air. Future track radar showing those overcast skies, upper level clouds moving in and out of the area as low pressure moves away and high pressure begins to take over. As we zoom out and look at surface map, here's the high pressure system that's off to our west, with a low pressure system off to our east right over Chicago. That's the low pressure system that has been affecting us for the past couple of days, giving us a couple chances for some flurries the past couple of days. That's going to move farther northeast, and that won't be affecting us anymore. As high pressure moves in, we may even see some clear skies for tomorrow afternoon. So what to expect, some weather headlines tonight, partly cloudy skies, some cooler conditions too with those northerly winds. For the weekend, we do have a chance for some stray flurries. That's for Saturday afternoon, possibly into Sunday morning too in some places. Then next week, some milder conditions with some sunshine with those milder temperatures. So looking at our precip forecast for the next couple of days, we're dry Friday, our only chance. Stray chance there on Saturday afternoon. That might linger into really early Sunday morning, but really just a very light chance there for our snow or dry for the rest of the week. Looking at future tracking out here, we do see those overcast skies over the area right now in the low 30s. We go into our Friday morning, we continue with those overcast skies, low 30s with the temperature with those northerly winds. Then high pressure moves in, clouds start to go away Friday afternoon. We're mainly clear with our highs in the mid to even possibly upper 30s in some places, seeing some sunshine for our Friday afternoon. As we get into our Saturday morning, more overcast skies start to move in from the west. Temperatures in the low 30s once again. And here's our light flurry chance moving through for our Saturday afternoon into night. We do have a light chance for some very light flurries. So how much are we expecting? Well, this is the next 48 hours. Really, it's looking right now just to be a dusting, less than an inch, pretty much everywhere, mainly north of I-90. Tonight's forecast will be partly cloudy and breezy, north winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour with our lows in the mid to low 20s. Tomorrow's forecast, it's looking to be pretty present, well, mostly sunny with pleasant conditions in the mid to upper 30s, some of us even low 40s possible. 4 degrees possible in Austin, Red Wing, and Winona. Looking at our 7-day forecast, we'll see those upper 30s, low 40s for Friday, partly cloudy skies. Then maybe those stray flurries for our Saturday afternoon, maybe going into our Sunday morning in some places. But then for our New Year's Day, looking fairly nice for right now in the low 30s with clear skies. Tom.
All right, Derek, thank you. Well, good news for your mind if you are an older adult with a pet. We'll explain. Also, if you are on the popular asthma inhaler Flovent, a new year brings some big changes that you will need to know about. We're warning asthma patients about a big change coming to inhalers. Starting January 1st, the asthma inhaler Flovent, made by GSK, will disappear from pharmacy shelves. Physicians say an authorized generic version to take its place will work just as well. However, it does not appear to be covered as widely by insurers. We did speak with a Mayo Clinic doctor who urged people to consult their physicians prior to the product being taken off the market.
And I think it's important, especially here at the end of the year, to look at your healthcare coverages, including the formulary of current medications that are being taken, and just to see or anticipate any of those changes.
Doctors are urging patients to take action now to get new prescriptions if needed and sort out coverage issues, especially since it is respiratory virus season. Industry insiders say JSK is discontinuing Flovent due to Medicaid rebate changes that would force the company to pay large penalties for hiking prices. Having a four-legged friend may slow the rate of cognitive decline among older adults who live alone. That's according to a new study that was published earlier this week. Researchers from China looked at data from nearly 8,000 people who were 50 or older. They found pet ownership was associated with slower rates of decline in verbal cognition, verbal memory, and fluency in those who lived alone. That is compared to those who lived entirely alone. However, the study authors did not observe this association in those who lived with other people. Previous studies have suggested that there may be a link between living alone and an increase of anxiety and depression, which can increase the risk of developing dementia. The new study was published yesterday in the journal JAMA Network Open.
Coming up next in sports, we got some holiday hoops as the inaugural Myron Glass Holiday Classic kicks off. All the highlights from the Lure Girls versus Albert Lee. Plus, it's day 2 of the Kiwanis Hockey Festival. Find out who will be playing for the gold and blue division titles after the break.
KTTC Sports from the Lacina Siding and Windows Sports Wall.
What's going on, friends? I'm Julian Mitchell. Tonight on the Sports Wall, the inaugural Myron Glass Holiday Classic at Lourdes is underway. Also some highlights as the Lourdes girls took on Albert Lee. But first, we have day 2 of the Kiwanis Hockey Festival. Let's get to the action. starting in the Gold Division. Century John Marshall squaring off with Fargo South Shanley. Panthers won its first game, looking to set itself up well for the championships. First period, no score. Panthers on the power play. A shot sent on. Pad save, rebound, Brock Clary lights the lamp. Century JM strikes first, 1-0. A little later, under a minute to go, Calvin O'Reilly goes for the wraparound. Tenders there, can't stop. Ole Feveld buries it there on the second chance. 2-0 Panthers in front. Final seconds of the first. Fargo trying to get on the board, a breakaway chance, and Kyle Appy is not fooled. Makes the stop. It's another strong game from the Panthers, who win this one 4-2. Century JM has 4 points heading into tomorrow and will face Egan for the division title. Next up in this division, Mayo Spartans coming off a close 3-2 loss in game one. Taking on Egan, Wildcats won its first game. Wildcats had its head in the game early. Lance Murray, high slot, goes bar down to open this one up. Mayo down 1-0 in the first. But here come the Spartans. Breakaway, Colin Bowden is going to go to the backhand here, and this sneaks through. What a snipe. Mayo ties this up at ones. A little later in the period, same score. Puck rebounds off the boards. Eddie Moore slaps at it in front. No whistle here, but somehow that puck slid through for a good goal. Mayo trailing 2-1. Moore Egan, a long pass ahead to A.J. Clark. It's got one man to beat. Slides to the backhand, 5-hole, scores, 3-1 game. As Mayo drops this one, a final score of 8-1. Spartans will finish out the tournament tomorrow against Eastridge. Rounding out the Gold Division nightcap here of day 2, Dodge County against Eastridge. Wildcats didn't waste much time in this one. Puck gets centered out front. It's kicked right to Griffin Funk, and you just can't fake the Funk. Third in the state in goals, 5-hole here for this one. So it's a 1-0 game. Eastridge to answer. A centering pass here. Chase Zuber. But Jackson Rothler puts a stop to that. Been great in goal this tournament. The boys are buzzing on both ends. Got Jeremiah Peterson Gordon, a saucer to Funk. One-timer. Yes, sir. It's 2-zip Dodge County. Wildcats win it by a final of 4-1. Will face Fargo South Shanley tomorrow. Let's go to the Blue Division now. The Lord Eagles coming off a loss in game one, taking on Wyndham. First period of this one, Eagles on the power play. Jack Rowe, gorgeous feed to Peyton Losley, who lights the lamp. Lord strikes first, 1-zip. A little later, puck kicked up ice. Leslie will chase this thing down. He's riding solo like Jason Derulo, and this is, well, it's just too easy. His second of the game. Eagles up 2-0, and Peyton, why don't you blow the fans a little kiss? Lord kisses Wyndham goodbye with a 4-2 win. Next up, the Crescent. Already got 2 points in the tournament, looking for more here against Austin. First period, my friends, here is the state's leader in goals and points, the reigning athlete of the week, Wyatt Farrell. Solo dolo, buries this top corner. Some light for him. The Crescent up 1-zip. Still in the period, Michael Storchka, a centering pass here for Alex Von Arx. He'll light the lamp. The Crescent with a 2-goal lead. It's the most dangerous lead in hockey. It is unless you can add another. Colton Holzer skates to his spot, fires a bar down Butte and make it a 3-goal game. The Crescent rolls on to win 8-1 the final. Lancers will face Lord in the finale tomorrow. But here's that score from the other game in this Blue Division. Albert Lee falls 8-3 to number 15, Laverne. So this means Laverne and La Crescent have 4 points heading into tomorrow. Both are in the same pool in this division, meaning unless one of them loses tomorrow, there will be a tiebreak to decide the title. The first is goal differential. Lancers lead that category, only allowing 1 goal so far. Last at high school hoops, inaugural Myron Glass Holiday Classic at Lord. The final game here of day 1, Eagles against Albert Lee. Join in, Lord up 5 early, but Nevaeh Walcolt has something to say. That's a strong drive to the 10. Finishes with the left off the window. Eagles to answer, dribble handoff, Lauren Hust. No one home. That's a practice layup. Finished with 18 points, 9 boards. Eagles up 7. So Albert Lee not going anywhere. Walcolt's a step back. Long 2. It's cash money. Then Caroline Daly gets to cooking. Offensive board. Kick out. Daly triple. Splash. It's a 10-point Lord lead. And Daly, again, no one steps up on the screen. And give me all 3 of these. Daly chipped in 10 points. So Lord coasts to a win here, 70-18. Lastly, as many of you may know if you follow me on social media, I saw Midwest Access today. This is my last day at KTTC. It's been an incredible 3 years here, and I can't say thank you enough to all of you for letting me into your homes and giving me the honor to share your stories. I came here as a kid from St. Louis, never been to Rochester. I truly found a home here. I'm really just grateful to you, the viewers, the coaches, athletes, teams, and communities for taking me in. I'm glad I got to spend my last day doing what I've loved here, and that's covering local sports. So for one last time, that is your look at sports. We'll be back after this.
Well, goodbyes are always very difficult. Today is a big day for one person in this office, a very sad day for the rest of us at KTTC, and for many of you viewers, that's because it's the last day for our friend Julian Mitchell. He's out of here. Julian began his journey at KTTC way back, December of 2020. I remember that day fondly, Julian, and has done just so much incredible work building up and maintaining the sports department. Look at that handsome guy there. Julian, from all of us at KTTC, we just really want to thank you for all you have done, and we are excited for your next chapter in life. We were talking briefly during this commercial break. Julian, highlights of your time here, other than working with us?
Yes, no, it's really been a highlight to work with Derek. Caitlin, who's not here, highlight to work with her as well. Yep. But a lot of other highlights in this one. I like to work with you too, Tom. A lot of highlights. It's really hard to pick one. Those sports extra days, though, are incredible. Working with Nick has been incredible. He's going to take this sports department to new heights and keep pushing it, and I'm so excited to see where he takes this thing.
Well, you have done an excellent job, and we just really, really wish you all the best, and thank you for all your hard work there. Thank you. All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
I wanted to have more experience on the road. I gained more knowledge as time went by.
And while more supervised practice is generally a good thing, the IIHS says there's one big complication and potential consequence of teams taking their time.
Some of the laws that we have that have been put in place since the 90s